So I've really been working with blocks a lot recently, and I've determined I think the best way to customize blocks is not really to write your own blocks. I think that's great for deployment, if you're creating themes and selling plugins and themes and things like that. But I think for customizing your own site there are a lot of better ways than to actually build an entire custom block on your own. For instance, look at this block here and it looks very custom. But believe it or not, that's just the regular paragraph block. I've customized it using a very simple technique. If I go to the actual Gutenberg editor here, you don't see any of that in this block. Look how it's got a shade, a gradient, the image is on the right, everything. Here it looks very different. So what's different about this? Because this is just a paragraph block. And what I did is I did an inline image right there and it stuck it right there at the beginning. That's all. The difference is under Advanced here it says an additional CSS class of, and I called it blue block just as a test. So I've added an additional class. Now I wanted to do this in a really good way. So what I did was here in my own little test plugin I did create a little CSS here. I probably should name this blue block or something like that. But this is the CSS file. So I can just write CSS in here. And then in my plugins file it looks like this. I've got an action added when enqueuing the scripts. So WP enqueue scripts. And it's going to call this function here and it's just going to do two things. Register style and enqueue style. And then there's the name of that file right there. I'm just using that in all three places. Basically all this is doing is saying, hey, take this style and add it in. So instead of having to go into the theme and add styles there, I'm doing it in the plugin, which I like. It's really nice and will work with any style if I switch styles. Here's all the style is. I mean it's just a CSS thing. There's blue block and I'm saying add a border, some padding, a linear gradient. Great. Now here's the image. I'm saying okay, put a border around that, float it to the right, put a nice margin around it. And I also did something else really cool here. I decided I was going to use the strong or bold there and I was going to redefine it. I was going to take away the weight and I was going to make it red so that all I had to do here was do that little B for bold and then I kind of hijacked that style. So now it looks like that. So anytime I want something to look like this, instead of having to have a custom block, all I need to do is basically make the block with the additional CSS class of blue block. Stick it in there and it will do all of that stuff for me. And if I want to edit it later on I could just edit right here. I just edit pure CSS. I don't have to even worry about PHP for that matter. And it gets taken care of. So I think it's a really cool way to actually kind of create a custom block but not a custom block. Right? You don't have to mess around with all that stuff. And now I can use this anywhere I want to do a block that looks like this.